This is the LightGlow Continue Review, Performance Review.
Alright, so first thing basically we're going to review is the remote control. The remote control has been one of the most hyped things about the Lightstrike kit. The most obvious being the LEDs on the top that indicate what the kit is doing. First thing to note about that is it actually only does that in real time when the remote is in the cradle. When you have it off, if you remove it, first of all it stops charging since it's not there. But if you go to change a pattern or something, like for instance we'll just change to a real back and forth up, we're in music mode now. So if you give me, see, that basically what it does is if it's not in the cradle, the LEDs will stop displaying what the Underbody kit is doing after about 4 or 5 seconds. So another thing you can notice right now, after a little bit, you'll notice that the kit is not doing blue right now. We have noticed that the LED display is a little bit faster than what the Underbody kit is actually doing. So while the display on the remote may say white or green or blue, that might not necessarily mean that's what the Underbody kit is doing. So the cradle is pretty handy. It does charge it. There are 3 small, basically ports I guess you could call them, on the back of the remote that slide in and do the communicating with the base. Easy to get in and out of. The base does come with a double-sided tape underneath it to mount it to your dash or seat or wherever you want to put it. So the remote does have a bit of a learning curve. For one, it doesn't exactly tell you what pattern you were doing. You pretty much have to guess or memorize or just get used to it after using it for a little while to be able to find the specific pattern you're looking for. And the other reason is there are a few buttons around there. You have a plus and minus for changing speeds or colors. You have a few different modes as far as pattern mode, music mode, or it's called the normal mode, which is basically just your fading back and forth, this and that. So as far as the patterns are concerned, we did really like the patterns. The one that's on the table right now is one of my favorites. It's just, I like a lot of colors, so that's why. There are, if we can get the remote to cooperate for a second, which it does not want to do for some reason. There it goes. It's got a handful of patterns, just some weird pattern names like leapfrog and ping pong, but we don't really pay attention to those anyway. So there's also some features as well as if you have it on a solid color, there's like 5 or 6 stages of actually dimming the colors. So if you want to just a light blue on there or something, you can do that. So saw a little bit of the music mode before. Keeps going with the bass, always fun. So let's see if we can get to a color fade here. This is a problem we had when we opened the kit actually. It's a good thing we landed on this. This is supposed to be a solid red right now. As you can see, it's not exactly cooperating. We have a side tube over there that likes to flicker, and then the other side tube over here is doing a little bit of half what it's supposed to and half not. That brings us back to the packaging that we mentioned earlier. That may or may not be a cause as to why. That could be because of a cold solder joint in the middle, where there's supposed to be a connectivity of the data that is not going through, or could be a manufacturer error. It's hard to tell. But that is where we can run into a problem. Otherwise, it's got just good color fading, good patterns, good colors like we mentioned. It's one thing we like. Dan, is there anything you liked?
The patterns were definitely cool. I personally have an ICE LED UFO kit, and I definitely like the patterns here that I really wish that I had. The patterns are very cool. Another thing I really liked was the fading of, sorry about that, you can dim the color. It can go from bright to dim, which was really cool if you sort of wanted like a lower pro look, you know, when you're driving on the street trying to, you know, sometimes being the brightest isn't always the best. So being able to dim it was really cool. The pattern's really cool. It had different speeds, which was nice. The color fading was good. The color transition wasn't always the best, but it's still good, you know, for the kit that it is. For the price, it's a pretty good bang for the buck when it comes to colors, patterns, and things like that.
Here's an example of the color dimming. This is the lowest setting for a regular blue, and then you can up it little by little. Which, again, Dan mentioned that there's a little bit of a lag between the remote and when it actually does something. So keep that in mind. You don't want to flick through the buttons really, really quick. because the remote can fall behind and land you on a pattern that you're not looking for, or a brightness that you're not looking for. So as far as range, we haven't really tested that yet, but we could do that now. Again, you want to stay there, I'll walk across the room here.
Sure.
Play with the colors. Right now I'm probably good 20 feet away from the base.
As you can see, this is another problem we're having. The whole kit right there was supposed to be that cyan color. And as you saw, the 3 tubes were green, so we're not quite sure what's going on there. There's our Christmas mode again.
Yeah, right now they're all supposed to be yellow, according to my
all
remote.
supposed to be yellow. As of now, Aken was about, I would say, about 20 feet away, walking back. Probably around 30 or so feet away right now. Still working fine, continuing going back. I'd say around 40 feet or so. The range is actually very good considering. Obviously, it has the wire that you can route anywhere in the car, so that way you have the best range, the antenna wire. That way you can have the best range, and which so far, that is so far knocked out probably the range of most kits out there, I'd say.
And the antenna wire can be extended. You can just add just a normal stranded wire to it and extend it. If you have it like under your seat or something like that, you can extend it up near the top of your car.
So range is quite impressive. With the little extendable antenna on the little remote, I think that definitely helped, and that definitely got the range that most kits can achieve.
So there's a good benefit of that one.
So all in all, that is the performance review for the Lightstrike kit, the colors, the patterns, the range, and that is all.